Casio used to make some rather fine digital dive watches in the 1980s. They were precisely engineered for maximum water resistance by using strengthened materials and enhanced gaskets, and they all featured sophisticated modules. And perhaps the pinnacle of these digital dive watches was the DW3000. This was seen as the halo dive watch model for Casio, and it paved the way for their successful DW200 series of dive watches. The DW200 series came with a lesser but still respectable 200 meters of water resistance, and it's where the Marlin symbol was first introduced. Proudly printed on the face, it was a sign to collectors that they were getting a quality dive watch. The DW200 series has long been discontinued, although Casio did attempt to reissue it as the DW215. However, this watch only has a very tenuous link with the DW200 series, as it has a lower water resistance rating, a standard build quality, and uses a basic module. It would have been seen as a travesty if Casio had printed the Marlin logo on its face. Then in 2011, Casio resurrected the Marlin logo, and this time it appears on an analog watch, the MDV106. The question is it worthy of the Marlin logo? Before we begin this review, if you want to get this watch which features the Marlin logo, the model to go for is the MDV106. Outside of America, it is sold as the MDV107, which does not feature the Marlin logo. The alleged reason for this is that Casio only has permission to use the logo within America, which is why you cannot order the MDV106 from the Casio UK website. I had to obtain mine from the Amazon USA website, where it was sold for a reasonable $56 US. The first impression is how solid it feels in hand. The case feels like it's made out of a solid block of steel and weighs nearly as much at 92 grams for the whole watch. And this variant, the MDV106G, looks rather fetching in this black and gold colorway. The second thing that strikes you is the size of the case. The length is nearly 50mm and the width is over 46mm, including the crown. The one saving grace is the thickness, which is a reasonable 12mm. They did try to disguise the case's large size by giving it curved lugs in order to minimize the overhangs. And here's how it looks on the wrist. The case is finished to a high standard that stands up well even when appraised with a close scrutiny. The top part of the case has a fine brush finishing, which also covers the crown guards, and the side flanks and crown are mirror polished. There is also a bevel between the two surfaces that serves as an intersection between the two finishes, which has also been machined to a high standard. On the dial, Casio has chosen to use arrow hands to distinguish the watch from being just another Rolex Submariner homage. Again, these are finished to a high standard, and the lume on them has been applied very neatly. At the 3 o'clock position is a date window with a white border. This is a little too small for my preference, and it would have been nicer if it was larger to make it easier to read and also to keep it in proportion with the rest of the dial. Applied indices around the dial are used for the hour markers. A combination of circle and rectangular markers are used, with the one at the 12 o'clock being similar in shape to the Seiko Sumo. The chapter ring adds an element of visual depth to the dial, and one can argue that Casio had created extra work for themselves by adding one in, but I'm glad they did. The extra work comes in because they have to ensure the dial, chapter ring and bezel are exactly aligned. Somehow Casio has managed to execute this perfectly, a task which even Seiko struggles with on their $500 divers. The bezel used is a ratchet style unidirectional type with 120 clicks for a single turn. The clicking sound is very satisfying to use and there is no play or wobble factor with it. The insert is made of aluminium with a white pip at the 12 o'clock. On the reverse is a screw-down stainless steel caseback which affords the watch with 200 meters of water resistance. The Marlin makes an appearance on here as well in the form of an embossed logo. A concentric circle brushed finishing is used to decorate the caseback and the edges are polished to a mirror finish. The screw-down mechanism for the caseback may afford the watch more water resistance, but it does mean that you will need specialist equipment to unlock it should you wish to change the battery yourself. The number 2784 embossed onto the caseback denotes the module number inside the case. In fact, the module is supplied by Miyota, which is a subsidiary of Citizen Watches and has an accuracy rating of plus or minus 20 seconds a month. It has proven to be a reliable movement over the years, which is why Casio uses it in many of its quartz analog models. It is powered by a single SR626SW battery, which should last around 3 years. The movement has a hacking feature, which means the seconds hand will stop when the time is being adjusted, and the crown used for the date and time adjustment is a screw-down variety, which is beneficial for water resistance. Not everything about the MDV106 is good, however. All the praise bestowed upon the watch has been for the case, and the same cannot be said for the strap. At best I can say that it's functional, but it's one of the most uncomfortable that I've come across. The reason is because the underside has these teeth markings that are presumably there to offer a better grip. The problem is they dig into the skin and the material used is not very soft. I will be swapping it out as soon as I get a chance. Lastly, here's the loom shot. Admittedly, it does look okay on camera, but in real life the effect is not as strong. Also, the loom, which is called Neo Bright by Casio, is not very long lasting after being charged and fades away after a couple of minutes. On paper there is very little to dislike about the MDV106, and I can see why it has a whole cohort of fans. Casio hasn't skimped on the build quality and features, and you get a whole lot of watch for your money. I mean this both in the metaphorical and physical sense. Its 44mm width prevents it from being a daily wearer for me. It would have been even better if the Marlin made its reappearance on a 39mm case. Or even better, the case of a digital diver.